Hey guys, Daniel Master 87 here, and today I kind of want to talk about an idea that's been put forward for Scourge hooks, but isn't being talked about much and is receiving a lot of pushback, and that is the idea that maybe Scourge hooks should be on every hook on the map instead of just a random 4. And so I'm going to go through like a bunch of things that support that idea because I think that's a good idea, and then a bunch of stuff that people have said against it, which doesn't really hold up if you ask me. And this is an idea that I first heard from True Talent. He's pushed it pretty hard. And some people accuse True of pushing the game to his liking, when if you're a long-time watcher of him, you know that that is not the case. Like, these ideas might seem like super killer-sided to some people, but in all honesty, they're actually just reasonable. Like, this is a centrist kind of suggestion to bring up, not like super killer sided or super survivor sided. So let's get that straight. So bad RNG with Scourge hook spawns usually limits the perk's usefulness, because you want to get Gift of Pain or Pain Resonance or the new one that's going to be coming out. But because all of the hooks are on one side of the map this time and you're on the other, you can't physically get to it. So you don't even get to use your perk, which is just bad design because of the RNG of the hook spawns. And let's be real here, no Scourge hook effect is that strong. Like, if you're thinking that Scourge hooks being on every hook would be overpowered, you need to reassess how strong you think that these Scourge hook perks have been, because they're not really that strong. Gift of Pain is a make your choice kind of thing where you can heal and face the slowdown, or stay injured and nothing else really happens to you, because that might be the better play anyway, because you're mangled, I'm pretty sure, before you're healed up. But and then you got Pain Resonance, which is only 15% on the gin. That's not even a pop's worth of it, and it has the same problem as pop. You can't use it on gens that are being blocked, and you can't use it on gens that get done at the last second before you're able to use your perk on it. It's the same stuff we've been dealing with. And being all hooks being Scourge hooks wouldn't really like help all of those problems. And you know, moving on, this wouldn't impede future herd Scourge hook design, I'm pretty sure, because if it's keeping with the trend of the power level of Scourge hooks that we've been getting, no Scourge hook that comes out is even possible for it to be overpowered. Because, I mean, the newest one we're getting seems like the least useful of them all, which is like, oh, the person gets unhooked, you see all their auras, which is just like a worse barbecue if you ask me. But yeah, as long as they keep the Scourge hook's power level at like the mediocre level we've seen so far, I don't think all hooks being Scourge hooks is gonna make any Scourge hook perk that overpowered. And here's something I have to ask the people who are against this idea. Should killers who have a Scourge hook perk equipped only be able to use that perk some of the time? Because to me that sounds like that's what you're saying. Like, your problem with Scourge hooks being on all hooks, right, is that the killer would always be able to use their perk. and that there would be no effort, or whatever you want to call it, put in for using that perk. But if that's the case, if the killer shouldn't get to use their perk that they've equipped every time, then why did the killer equip that perk? Like, they're dancing the line between the perk being overpowered, but then also shaming killers for running overpowered perks and saying you should use weaker stuff, like this perk here that you only get to use a quarter of the time because the hook spawns are bad. And we don't want those hook spawns to change either. Like, you can't win because of saying that you're not allowed to use the perk that you equipped, because having it available when you hook someone at any time would be overpowered. I just don't get it. And something interesting on the flip side of that, for those complaining about Scourge hook perks as they are right now, they're saying that Scourge hooks promote camping because they spawn in one spot or another and you never want to leave that area or whatever. Well, then wouldn't you be in favor of Scourge hooks being on all hooks? Because then the killer's not supposedly camping an area to get use out of his Scourge hooks, which he equipped, and he would just be able to use the perk anyway. Would that solve your conundrum? Or are you now going to say that the killer is camping the whole map to use this perk of his? It's full map camping, just like people say with Hag, range camping. And then the last point I want to make, which is important, Scourge hooks has been an interesting development since it came into the game as a perk archetype. If you ask me, the perks are very healthy for the game, and they would be even healthier if they were on all hooks. Scourge hook perks only give the killer a benefit if they are hooking multiple times throughout a match. Not camping and one hooking someone, not tunneling someone out of the game and then the other three run out because they've rushed the gens in that time. None of that crap. Scourge hooks, especially Pain Resonance, reward killers for going for multiple chases and running gen defense and stuff like that, instead of it just being corrupt so you can't work on gens, deadlock so you can't work on gens, no-ed, blood warden, no way out. I'm tired of the meta being pushed to just slow down so that you can't do anything, which is what people were complaining about, and they're probably going to get Dead Man Switch nerfed for that reason. Or just full-on in-game builds with no way out, no-ed, remember me, and all that crap. These Scourge hook perks push the game in a positive direction. That's away from all that stuff that people say is toxic and OP and stuff like that. But as soon as killers are able to succeed with doing anything but camping and using in-game builds and stuff like that, they want to call it OP as well. Like, what do they actually want? Yeah, that's basically all I've got. That should be enough points right there to change some people's minds on Scourge hooks being on all hooks or not. I think it's a very good idea. It's just taking the RNG aspect away from the perk and allowing killers to use their own perk that they swapped out another meta perk to equip, so they should get to use it. And these perks have been of a manageable power level, so survivors have no real right to complain, unless they're just giving the killers free hooks all the time, which is the only way really that you're gonna get use out of Pain Resonance and Pop and stuff like that. But yeah, that was my argument. For now, this is Daniel Master 87 signing out.